Blimey. Those of you who are still in the room are, quite frankly, serious troopers. Congratulations for staying the distance. My name's Claire Durkin, and I have the privilege of chairing the Board of Trustees for National Energy Action. And the trustees have the privilege of serving National Energy Action. I stand here between you and your lunch. It is a damn fool thing to do, and therefore I shall not stand here for long, I promise you. I want to start not by addressing the things that I'm going to say a few words about. I want to start by including, because the whole purpose of a conference is to be together and to learn from each other and to be inclusive. So I wanted to start with thank yous. And I know you all want to thank you to other people in the room. And I'm actually going to start rather selfishly by thanking NEA teams, because the NEA does deliver as well as advocate. And I want to start with the NEA delivery teams because what they do is replicated and improved and bettered all over the place and everywhere in this room. And the teams do such a range of things, from the very basic, desperate need of vouchers to the desperately, acutely needy, to the advice for those to help out now and in the next few years in accessing finance that they haven't accessed, in managing finance better, in energy efficiency advice and energy efficiency measures, in working with industry, with the government schemes, in innovation projects, looking to the future and the longer term, and using the chat boxes and the replicas, and training and enabling others to do the same. It's that range of activity that everyone in this room is involved with in some way. And it's that range of activity that I'm proud to say the NEA can deliver in its small part. Thank you. But they don't get any chocolate. The more pertinent thanks to teams that have been nominated by yourselves. And such impressive teams. And I know there are many, many more teams. So you are just examples. You are light bulbs for us all. There are some that have been nominated that can't actually be here in person, and so they don't get any chocolates either. But we should note, at least for the record, we have Beata Sheehan, who's a home visits advisor for National Energy Foundation. And we have Katie Bell, who's the project officer for the Centre for Sustainable Energy. And again, not here in person, we have Chris Chislett and her team from Sefton County Council, Energy and Environment. I note that in the tribute to Chris and her team, there's the phrase that she never does it for plaudits. So there you go, that's why they're not here today. Poor souls, they're not getting their plaudits. But they deserve their plaudits, and the stories will be very familiar of them, their dedication, their long service, their building their teams, their indefatigable working with individuals. And honestly, it is very moving to think that person to person, those individuals are making a difference to other individuals for the better. And we're proud of them. Thank you to them. But then I hope we have some warm bodies that are prepared to stand up to be counted. And we start off in Reading, well, we start off here, I hope, with Richard Lewis from... Hey, come on, Richard, get up here. Richard, you'll be pleased to know, for 6 years has been dedicating himself. However, he's been doing so while he's been moving house. He's been having a baby. The man's a fool, clearly. I wasn't in the least surprised to read how you're providing blankets. You're going, that's because you know about babies and moving houses and things. You care. So, Boyd, you deserve your chocolates.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And we move from Reading up to rural Derbyshire and Emma Simpson. Emma. Now, folks, get this. Emma has been on Country File and has been telling everyone all over the place about the plight of the off-grid. C'est moi. And they're having to put on with oil, etc. And you've been communicating it so widely, as well as giving personal advice and guidance. And it's hugely beneficial to all of us. And thank you very much. Oh, you should be sitting up here. I forgot to tell the pair of you, you've got to sit up here because your light bulbs, your images, come on. Come on, get up here. So everybody will know who to ask for a chocolate. Come on, Richard. And while you're finding your seats up here, we can't move because he's not here, but he's going to be represented. But the nomination is for Ray Everett. And Ray is Senior Energy Advisor in the Marches Energy Agency, which actually does reach out to parts of rural Derbyshire. And he has been working there for 30 years. And he's been training his staff so beautifully. And he's going to actually produce an app to tell us how much it costs us to boil our kettle and whether or not we should be using our microwave or our LPG and everything. And I can't wait to get it. And I'm told that Ray is the Marches Energy Agency's very own Martin Lewis. I bet he's not as rich. Albeit with a more unique sense of humour. Good job, Simon's here instead. Simon Ross, you're coming to collect our... Sorry. You can share the chocolates. And Dan Bebbington? Dan, the man, is not here. Well, that's a shame because he's been busy training 266 staff. He's been having referral routes all over the place. He's got warm spaces, and he's doing something actually really very good. He's involved in the fire service for acute, dangerous things, but he's not here. And that's from the Durkin Housing Group. Sorry, Dan. Somebody else is going to eat your chocolates. Well, finally, in that case, I hope we have Jamie Barber. Oh, Jamie. And the team? Community Connected team? Yes. Well, because Dan and Durkin Housing didn't arrive, we've got chocolates for both. Jamie and the Community Connected team, you're actually supported by the NSPCC, aren't you? You are. Blackpool.
Chill. Cosy Homes in Lancashire.
And I just think it's a lovely name, the Cosy Homes Lancashire. And I thought to end up on Cosy Homes, it's just lovely. So thank you very much. Thank you. Take a seat. Thank you. The reason I wanted you to sit here is because I didn't want me to be standing here as though I had any wisdom at all. I wanted us to be here. And I know it's lunchtime, so I just want to leave a couple of thoughts with you. At the early stages of this process of having a conference, I had conversations with the chief executive who thought it would be a good idea, and I'm a very sensible chair of trustees, and I thought it's expensive and it's not worth it. We got it online last time and it worked fine. Online works. Let's not be ahead of ourselves. We'll stick with online. He battered me down and we've had a conference. And as ever, Adam, you were right. It makes an enormous difference for humans to get together, to share their thoughts, to understand better. Individuals lead to groups, and groups are much more empowering. So I think it's been a fine, fine example of doing that. We've managed to share hard data and emotional intelligence. And it's damn foolish to ignore either of them. But I want to start with just one point of thank you for those who came and were brave enough to tell it as it is in fuel poverty. And I know that you deal with it all the time. You think you know everything. We feel as if we know. But actually, there's something very special and humbling about hearing it each time. And I'm told by another colleague who is listening, she told me that the eloquence and their eloquent insight was invaluable, dignified, and moving. And that's why we're here. But we also had very good graphs and charts and hard data. And actually, we need our graphs and charts and hard data. And we need evidence to put to public health. And we need evidence to put to public authorities. And it's useful and it's powerful. But we need it ourselves because we could do things that are less than good or less than maximum. So we use all of that data. And we need the AI so we target more effectively. And we need to work towards the future, not just let the future happen. I think that by using our understanding of people and our understanding of that data, we can make a difference. When this horrendous impact of the crisis happened, and the war in Ukraine and everything, I remember feeling, oh God, it's too big. The NEA can't do much. We're too small. I was right and I was wrong. I was wrong because actually that's why you're here. Every single individual can and does make a difference. But I was also right because we only make that much difference, but together we make that much more. And coalitions of the willing have happened in the last year like never before. And that is really tremendous. But it might not sustain itself if we're not careful. So we put a hell of a lot of effort in, all of us, now, for the next year or so, to make sure we sustain not only our individual, and remember while you're doing all of that individual work, to sustain yourselves. Please. And your children. And then sustain our networks and our coalition of the willing. I want to also pay tribute to not only the third sector who came this conference, but to the government that came, to the public sector throughout the UK that came, to the industry and the businesses and companies that came, because actually it's working together that makes the difference. And I'm told again that each representative was confident enough and caring enough to speak it as it is, and that makes a difference. I'm also told that our Danish colleague said a lot about how in Denmark they built trust. Well, that's where we start here. Let's just decide that we will trust what we heard from the willingness, we all fall down, but the willingness of government to try and make a difference. That we will trust our public services, that they will try their best where they can to make a difference. That we will trust the third sector, that we will step up to the plate and work openly and speak it as it is, and compromise and not compromise. And that we will work for today acutely and tomorrow wisely by absolutely thinking very, very hard about the future, so that we have far fewer acutes and far more successful, low-carbon, warm, comfortable, cosy homes. I have to tell you to fill out your evaluation forms. I have to thank those who organised the conference, and in particular to mention Anna, Nina and Brian. Thank you very much. I am told that they organised some decent food for lunch. So please go and get your food. Please continue to network. But please, let us go and do more. Cheers.